What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Impulse back at it again with a new video. And remember, boys, drink some water. Speaking of remembering, you know which car I really miss and think about all the time? The goddamn Evo, bro. I mean, come on, dog. Look at this fucking thing. This thing's freaking awesome. It was fast, quick. You know, it was a 4G63, one of the greatest engines of all time. I freaking want one, man. So if we're going to talk about the Evo, we got to talk about the car that it was approved from, aka the Lancer. So the Lancer debuted in 1973, and it started off as a 2- and 4-door sedan. And it went on the market basically everywhere besides the States, because the States never gets anything. So it was basically just a really good economy car, just fuel efficient, small, compact. It was really good, you know. However, Mitsubishi wanted to put more of an implant on the motorsport division. So they decided, what's that Group B thing going on over there? So they worked on a cool little car for Group B, you know, the people dying and shit. So that car started off for being intended to go into Group B, but Group B fucking got canned because everybody was getting killed in that bitch. And so eventually they're like, what do? So what they did was put it in Group A. I mean, another rally? Yup! So they put the Galant out to race, you know, in Group A, and it did pretty good. It did pretty freaking good, if you ask me. And yeah, eventually the roads for Europe just got fucking whoop. So they're like, what do we do? The Galant's too big. It's not fitting in these roads. So they're like, you know what we do have up our sleeves? The Lancer, baby. So what they did is they grabbed the heart out of the Galant and we're like, look at this thing over here, and just put a Lancer shell over it.
You take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else.
So I was sitting here thinking to myself, I mean, this is basically when your Charmander goes from being, you know, a little tiny thing, you know, a cute little thing, to becoming a fully grown Charizard. And it's just a fucking behemoth.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Yes, I know that the Charmeleon boy is in between evolutions, but just listen to me for a second, please. Just go along with the joke. The Lancer had evolved. You know what's cool about that? Kind of sounds like a name. You know, kind of like a Lancer evolution.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, I know it's fucking stupid. Leave me alone. So in 1992, the start of a rally legend, a JDM legend, an amazing car, and the Lancer Evolution was born. So like I said earlier, the Evo took the guts out of a Galant and put them in a Lancer. So the Galant was the VR4, and this thing had a 4G63, a big Terpski, making about 244 horsepower, along with all-wheel drive. And my favorite part? Wings, baby! I fucking love wings. Like, if your car comes stock with the wing, I fucking want it. I am a slut for wings. So the 4G63 was so good that they decided, hey, let's put it in every single Evo. I mean, what else do we gotta lose? They said, no 4G63 for the Evo X, though. Like, don't forget about that. Don't forget about it. It's a big problem. Because it was in Group A, there needed to be 2,500 road legal cars. So they didn't need to sell them or anything like that, but they needed to make production cars for it. And so this thing was basically a success, just off rip, just straight up. The first Evo, like all of the 2,500 sold out in 3 days. Let me say that again, bro, because the first Evo to hit the market sold out in 3 freaking days, man.
What? What the fuck?
That's a zooey mama for me, bro. Like,
Zooey Mama!
3 days, dog? 3 days? That's That's utter insanity that it sold out that fucking fast. Speaking of sanity, you know what else was crazy? The RS version. That shit came with no power seats, no power windows. ABS just got straight up deleted, like everybody deletes their cats. In 1994, the Evo 2 came out, and it wasn't much of an upgrade. People kind of like confused the OG Evo along with the Evo 2 because they kind of look the same. I mean, they kind of different, but they kind of not. I mean, it had a bigger wing, but like, it only made 252 horsepower, which is literally like 8 horsepower more. So basically the same thing, if you ask me. So the same year that Toy Story came out, like the OG Toy Story came out.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Oh, no. Buzz looking alien! Where? Bah!
The Evo 3 also came out, which happened to be the year 1995. And the 4G63 decided it was time to get freaking swole, man. So the Evo decided to get some, pretend there's muscle there. So the Evo was making 270 horsepower, which is like 20 more horses than it did a year ago. So that's pretty cool, man. So the Evo 3 got a couple of upgrades. You know, they upped the compression on the 4G62. That's part of the muscle gain that it got. Put a bigger turb ski. Yes. And a bigger intercooler for better cooling and slightly improved aero. So in 1996, Japan was on a roll, dog. They dropped the N64 and the Evo 4 all in the same year. That's what we call a W.
One day, go. Let's go. That's a W. That's E1. That's E1. That's a W.
So the fourth version of the Evo it got a huge redesign, and let me tell you, dude, this thing is a certified baddie, bro. This thing is nice. This thing is. So let me put you in a situation, right? You're sitting there cruising down the street, and you see a Lancer, but it's no ordinary Lancer. It looks like a rally car. How can you tell that it's a rally car? And it's got fog lights in the bumpers. That's how everybody knows. That's the universal sign for fucking rally car. And that's what Mitsubishi did. Another universal sign for a rally car is if the driver is vaping. Then if he's vaping, he's 100% driving a rally car. If you go out in the mall and you see somebody ripping the fattest of clouds, 9 times out of 10 they drive either an Evo or a Subaru. Ask me how I know. So the thing was still powered by a 4G63, but it's an even bigger turbo. Like, these things keep on getting sicker and sicker by the version, man. And I got an even better upgrade than just a bigger turb skis. They gave it active yaw control. If you're like me, you had to like look it up to see what the fuck it meant. So I'll tell you what it meant. It's basically an active rear diff, which tells how much torque to send to each wheel independently. So basically, when you turn it and you need more power to go to like that side, the left side, it'll send more power to the left front than it will to the right front. So yeah, better traction, baby, better cornering. So around this time, Mitsubishi was doing really good in the World Rallycross Championship. Some guy named Tommy Mäkinen, I butchered that, my apologies. He went on to win the title 4 times in a row in an Evo. I mean, it's not like he's a rally legend or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So the Evo 5 and 6 were basically the same thing as the Evo 4. I mean, it was just some minor tweaks and shit. The Evo 6 did have a special edition, which was pretty cool. It was the Tommy Mäkinen edition. keep butchering the name. I'm so sorry. But it was just minor differences and just special badges. Nothing to write home about. So 2 years after I was born, the Evo 7 came out, aka 2001. Things got kind of chubby, you know, kind of like yours truly. But not only did this Evo come out with the active yaw control, it got something sick, man. It got the active center differential, which improved its turning and indirectly made it better for skirt. Finally, in 2003, the Evo made it to the States after years of America just seeing this thing just dominate the World Rallycross like we wanted it, bro. Come here. Let me talk to you.
Come on, you're not an intellectual. You're a fake and a fraud.
So again, the Evo decided to buff up and just cut, because it was cutting season. Last season it was bulking season. Now it's cutting season. We gotta slim down. You know, summer's right around the corner. How to get nice and pretty for the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddy.
There was one downside about the Evo in the States. It didn't have active yaw control, but it's still here, so that's still a W.
That's a W.
And then the holy grail of Evos was born, in my opinion.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
I mean, I'm gonna fucking die on this hill. The Evo 9 M, well, I don't know if the MR, but the Evo 9. So this Evo had Mitsubishi's version of VTEC, and if you know VTEC, you know what that is. And in case you're stupid like me,
I'm kind of retarded.
I'll tell you what it is. Basically, it lets you control the timing of the cam. VTEC is way better because like it has 2 different lobes and it'll just lock into each other and increase the timing and give you open the valves more, so that way you can make more power, baby. You know what I'm saying? And Mitsubishi's version was called MyVec. It wasn't quite the same deal, but it was very similar. Very similar, in fact. I want one. Please, God, let me own an Evo 9. And another thing I'm a slut for, no shame, is the goddamn wagons. The CTSV, yes. Just the blob eye wagons, yes. Anything that's a wagon that's fast, bring it to me, poor favor. And basically Mitsubishi was like, yo, I heard y'all like wagons. And we was like, yes sir, yes sir. And they made an Evo 9 wagon, which is pretty freaking sick. I remember when I was living in Phoenix, I saw one at the local Walmart over there off of, I think it was a Dysart, I don't even remember. But that thing was sick, man. I was just like, so in 2007, the last of the Evos to be produced and sold, the generation came out, the Evo X. Which if you're as old as I am, this is like the first Evo that comes into mind because we were like 8 years old when this thing came out. And it was pretty cool, it looked pretty sick. But it's also one of the most hated Evos of all time. Mostly because it was powered by a 4B11, which is still a very good engine. But Mitsubishi, where'd you put my 4G63 at? Please let me know where the 4G's at, because this 4B11 isn't quite as good as the 4G63. Now it's easy to understand why the Evo X was kind of hated.
How dare you stand where he stood?
Because it kind of wasn't an Evo. Because every single Evo before this had the 4G63, and all of a sudden, oh, let's put this 4B11 in it. Like, don't get me wrong, the 4B11's a fantastic engine, but the 4G63 is one of the best engines ever.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
So, in 2015, we got the final edition Evo. Recaros because there was a recall on the Recaros in the last year. So they were like, yeah, let's not put Recaros in it. This thing made pretty good amount of horsepower. It was 300 horsepower. And the Evo was officially dead.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because
Evo died because Mitsubishi fell into some financial hardships and they just couldn't afford to be making these cars anymore because they weren't selling as much compared to like their sedans, the regular sedans, and their SUVs. So they just decided one of the best rally cars was lost. However, seeing what Mitsubishi is doing in recent years by producing monstrosities and calling them legacy names like the Eclipse, like it makes me really glad that they didn't do that to the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Because imagine if the Evo came back as a goddamn crossover. Do you know how lame that would be?
Look how they massacred my boy.
How would y'all feel if the Evo came back as a damn crossover? How do you guys feel about the Evo almost being dead for almost a decade now? Do you guys still love him? Do you guys consider it a rally legend? Would you guys still buy one even though, you know, everybody beats on these poor things? Did you drink some water? That's it, guys. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Leave a like if you liked it. Remember to drive safe because you are loved, and I will catch you guys on the next one.